Hello and welcome to Astra's Brain Injury. I'm Astra, and today we are going to be talking about processing and identifying. So, with my brain injury now, y'all, it was something that I have to shake hands with now and say, "How you doing? My name's Astra, and you're." And they say, "My name's Brain Injury. How are you?" um, so with my processing, it was all over the place, and it was nowhere to be found for me. With processing now, if somebody is speaking to you, you got to process. Okay, what are they saying? How am I going to respond to what they're saying? But if there is a disconnect in your mind, that processing goes out the door. I remember when I was at the brain injury clinic, and they give you tests to do, and they would ask you questions, and you need to come up with an answer. And I'm only saying this to you now because I had this written down, and because I spoke to whomever was with me when I went to these tests, that I can give you this information now because I don't even remember it. So, they would have me, they would give me a set of sequences of numbers. And then afterwards, they would ask me other questions, and they would ask me, okay, can you tell me these numbers? And I could not tell them these numbers. So my memory was poof out the door. I could not find it. So, but with the processing, as I said, we're processing all the time. So what we hear, we're processing with. What we see, we're processing with. And what we're going to say out of our mouth is what we are processing about, from what we heard. Now, the thing is, if you are not hearing what is being said to you, and you're not properly hearing, so you can't process it properly. And it is very hard thing to do. I'll give you an example. So um I think maybe it was summertime or around there, and I was on the porch, and I looked and I saw, my family member at the door. So I saw them at the door because I was, on my porch. And as I'm looking, I saw them. The next thing I know, they were right beside of me. And I jumped because I was like, when did you get here? So there was a disconnect for the processing in my brains, the different steps of seeing that individual walking. Even though I'm looking at them, my brains is not processing what my eyes is seeing. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but there was a disconnect there. So it's like, you have a relay, and if you're running a relay race, we did in school, and you've got the baton, and you're running, and trying to catch to the next person before the other person catches to their person and hands them so that they can get that and begin to run. Well, it's like you're running, and all of a sudden now you go to, and it drops. And that person, you're expecting, well, why aren't you running? Didn't I give this to you? But no, you dropped it. So this is how it was from me on a continual basis. We'd be in the car and it's not even connecting in my mind that we're going from point A to point B to point C and D. All of a sudden I see we're at A, and now I'm like, where we're at D. How did we get here? And so it's as if I was losing out on my sense of time, because time is something that I am so unaware of even right now. Like, I need to have someone, even like with this, I need someone to be like, okay, Astra, it's, you're getting up on time. Otherwise, I would sit here and I would just ramble, and I'm wanting to know, why am I getting so exhausted? And I'll be talking and I won't even realize that this amount of time has passed on. And this is years later now. So in the first, when this happened, my processing was next to nil. Like, I could not even comprehend, really all what was going on, all what was being said. I'm sure that y'all will hear me tell stories of, like, for instance, my mother and I, we went out and we were at the store, and my mother, when we came into the car, and this was even years later, and my mother, when we came into the car, she turned to me and she's like, Astra, did you hear what the lady said? I'm like, what? Well, what did she say? I may be smiling. Oh yes, yes, and I'm there present in the conversation, but my mind is like, not a bit of that, not today. So it, poof, that conversation disappears. I've had instances where I may remember something that has happened months ago. And I'm talking like it was just today we were having that conversation. And they would, your family looks at you sideways and they're like, girl, don't you know that this was yada, yada, yada before? And I'm like, what? For real? you know? So, and the next thing is too, like with that processing, say, for instance, I have this salt here, and I'm going to give you an example. I was, I'm looking in the pantry and I'm trying to find an item, say it's salt, and I'm looking up and down in the pantry for it. I may have picked it up numerous times, but my brains is not connecting with my hands and with my eyes that this is salt. And so for the longest of time, I would be looking for something and I cannot find it. I may be holding it, but my eyes is not relaying the information back to my brains, or my brains is not getting the information that my eyes is relaying to it, and my hand is relaying to it that what I'm holding is Himalayan pink salt. It will not let me know this. I mean, it still happens to me today. It still happens where I would be looking for something, and it's not until somebody puts their hand on it and they're holding it and turning and saying, Astra, see, this is Himalayan pink salt. Then my brains is like, this is Himalayan pink salt. I mean, when it first happened to me, I remember I just cried. Like, I felt like I was an emotional wreck because I was looking for, say, the syrup, pancake syrup, and I was looking and I'm looking, and my family's watching me not eating my pancakes with syrup. And I could not, for the life of me, I could not find the pancake syrup. Couldn't find it. It wasn't until my son came in and he's like, Mommy. Well, he's not calling me Mommy. He's like, Mom, it was, it's, he went and he put his hands on it like this. And it's as if, like when you play video games or, cartoons, and they, poof, that aha thing. I was like, what? And, they watch me pick up things and they see that I'm not recognizing what it is. So that processing of information coming into my brains is gotten a little better, from where I was before. But it's not easy, y'all. It really is not easy. And to know that you are looking for something, like I've lost many things in my time where I've put something down and I don't know where I've put it, and I cannot for the life of me find it. I still have that. So I try and do things in repetition. Like, if, for instance, this pen, I will always try and place it in the same spot so that when I come back, this is where it is. So I don't know if I'm trying to train my mind to know that this is where this will be, so I can, like, you can close your eyes and pick it up, and that, okay, because I've been putting this here all the time, this must be the pen, right? So these are things that I do, but as I said, that processing, y'all, it was like I was even in you know when you go to the store, and that's another crazy thing. And thank goodness, as I say, I always go with someone. I never go anywhere by myself, like when I'm at the store, other than, like washroom, things like that. But when you are in the store and you are trying to find something, and you turn to, whomever you're with, can you help me find blah, 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 blah? You could be standing right in front of it, and you're holding it in your hand, and you're asking them, can you help me find blah, 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 blah? And they're like, but Astra, you're holding it. I'm like, what? But and it's all of a sudden, it's like the light bulb goes off in my mind. This is what you were looking for. So I still have it, even though it is years later, it still happens. But, even like with touching things, you don't even realize, okay, as I said, you see what I'm telling you, I'm holding the salt in my hand and my mind is not recognizing, wait a minute, this is a glass container with a black lid on it, and this is the salt. So my mind is not even registering something like that. And, when you think about it, it's a little daunting. Lisa say it is a little daunting that what you're touching, your mind is not picking up, oh, this is assault. What you're looking for and what you're looking at, your mind is not recognizing and saying, this is the salt. Like your mind is not recognizing that. So, it's a little, it, it's not a little daunting. It's a whole lot of daunting. At first it was very stressful for me because, and I didn't say anything to my family at first because, you don't want to seem like you're an idiot. That's the next thing. I don't want to seem like I'm an idiot, you know, and it was it was hard. It was really hard. But then, when I got frustrated and I cannot find what I'm looking for, I turn to them and I'm just like, can you help me find such and such, please? You know? And when they pick it up, my brain's is like, that's the item, you know? I mean, you're going to have days like this, y'all. Trust me, if that part of your brain is affected, you will have issues like that. Just listening to a conversation and processing is a lot. Just hearing, because you have to hear. You've got to think about, so you've got to digest, like you got to eat what is being put before you. And it's just like, what is this? It's as if they gave you a whole bunch of garble, 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 and you're trying to focus on what, and then the next thing is too, you're focusing. But that would be another video I would talk about. Let me write that down here. My focus. Um, when you, hmm, when you are unable to process, it's hard, because people, they look at you and they don't see that something is off with you, something is wrong. They don't see, oh, because, we don't wear a thing that says, I have a brain injury, they don't see it. So they're expecting you to be able to, answer. That when it drops, they drop the question, you can drop the answer. And so, you know, even now, it still happens. It still happens. I don't know if it ever will get back to where I was 100%. I don't know. But you just take it in strides. You just take it in strides. Each day, I'm thankful that I, can do this. I'm thankful that I can cook again, even though I might forget things. And, I'm just like, ooh, on the spur of the moment, I'm like, let's change it and do something else because, you never know. You never know. But as I said, with the processing, it takes time, y'all. It takes time. Like my accident was in November 2014. So this is now in the 11th year, and I still have issues. I still have issues. But I would encourage y'all, speak with your practitioner, talk to your family, support, because we all need support in some way, some form or fashion. We all need support. And so talk to them. When you remember, talk to them, because it's not every time you're going to remember. It's like it comes in like that movie there, Squirrel, the dog with Squirrel, and that's how your mind is, when you do remember. But just keep at it. Talk to your practitioners, talk to your family, and hopefully they can be of a good support to you, to help you so that you'll be able to get better than what you was yesterday and be better today, So, with that, I shall take my leave. But I would say, if you are the one that is going through the brain injury, please, or someone who is going through the brain injury, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, what are you going through? What it is that of the other person, of what they're going through. I would love to have that kind of conversation so that, eh, I can offer you some kind of support, or you can offer me some kind of support. We can support one another. It's a community. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to help you when you got a brain injury. Trust that, believe that. So, with that, I will see you in the next video. And with that, I will say bye. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share. And I'll see you later. Okay, bye.